In our build series, we've done many different cars, but one of the big companies that we see keep coming up over and over again seems to be Lotus. Now, Lotus Formula One these days, maybe not so spectacular, but back in the day, they were really recycling other people's ideas so well that they were just absolutely decimating the field right up until they had the 3-liter categories. But then Lotus was stuck high and dry when their engine builder dropped out, that they had to basically paste 2 of their engines together to make 2 flat 8s into a H16 engine. It was absolutely atrocious car. The car did terribly. So they wanted to do 2 things. One, get a brand new engine, and they did that spectacularly. They chose the Ford engine, which went on to be the most successful Formula One race engine ever made. And the other one is they recycled an idea from Lancia. Now, one of the reasons why we haven't covered any Ferrari so far is Ferrari has never actually made anything new up to this point. All they've done is just taken other people's ideas, and sometimes those ideas then they just happen to ruin. Like the idea of not actually having any frame behind the car. So as you can see here, there's absolutely nothing. And that's because this is the first time successfully that a Formula One team or a race car was to use an engine as a part of the chassis or as a stress member. And it did them really, really well. Also, now that I've got this body in here, I'm noticing that I think this is accidentally inside out. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to fix that at some point, but we'll deal with that later. So our body is going to be aluminium, and it's going to be a monocoque, and it's going to be a mid-longitudinal double wishbone and double wishbone. Now, as stated, this design of chassis had actually been around previously, but this is the first team to do it successfully, and they kind of needed to because they wanted to be lighter than everybody else and reach as close to that minimum 500 kilogram weight limit that was set by Formula One. So we're gonna try to get to 500 kilos as well, which is going to be really, really hard. We have a bore and stroke here of 85.7 and 64.8. With dual lever cams, 4 valves per cylinder, more aluminium. We're going to go with a flat plane for now. We'll deal with having to have forged in a minute, if we need that at all. Ooh. No, the heavy-duty forged is lighter, but not the piston, so we'll leave that for now. Injection, mechanical injection per cylinder, race, and a good old superleaded fuel. And that gives us around 154 kilowatts. No, we can do better than that. Oh, that's a lot of power. And yes, no, we do need a better piston than that. Okay, well now we can go up to about 10,000 RPM. It maxed out at 9,500 at 415 horsepower, which is 309 kilowatts. How close are we? Oh, we are very close. Ah, there we go. Except our conrods and crankshaft are our weak points now. Oh, I can make the crankshaft a little bit stronger, but not the connecting rod, unfortunately. So we're still locked at our speed limit of RPM. That's kind of, yeah, well. Well, also our power is quite high. We should maybe drop that a little bit to at least stay within reason. I think, yeah, that'll do. Now, I'm going to run a little bit of a challenge for the rest of this, which is to not have any graphs up whatsoever. We're going to be running kind of by the seat of our pants, which is the way they used to do it back in the day anyway. And let's give it a bit of a listen. That's a good sounding Formula One engine. Now, our new chassis. And you'll notice that this one is very wide, and that's actually how it was. So that is not me like choosing the wrong standard width. That is actually the track width that I was seeing on the websites. It's like, oh my god, that's a very thick boy. Now, what sort of speed do we think we're gonna hit? Because we're not gonna be using any of the graphs. We're gonna have to basically guess this, but then we shouldn't really go too big because we do also want to be able to accelerate at a fairly good speed. If we have lots of wheel spin, we can change that. We're gonna go with crossply because we're still dealing with crossplies, but we're gonna upgrade to a sports compound this time, as that's the new standard. Magnesium wheels and high quality. Now, is that a good ratio front to rear? I think it is. I think that's fairly good. Solid disc, 1 piston, solid disc, 1 piston, and put that a lot to the rear. Or maybe we shouldn't put that a lot to the rear. Every single time I do that, the car tends to lock up the rear wheels way too much. We'll keep taking it back to BeamNG and back to see how we go. Semi-clad under tray, A lot of brake airflow, don't need a huge amount of cooling, and high quality. And hide that graph as quick as possible. Now, what is the issue here? Wheel spin. So that's something that we can easily deal with by making the gear ratios a little bit longer. And, well, there's not really a whole lot here we can do to make our tires wider. We can go up to a 700 width. But there is one thing, is Formula 1 cars have a very low tire profile. And that's something that's very specific to these sorts of race cars. So I'm going to have to down the size of these in the J-beams later. And still we're getting, what, excessive wheel spin? There's not a whole lot I can do here, unfortunately. It reckons our top speed is 515. Oh my goodness. Maybe I put the drag a little too low on this car body. I think for now we're fairly good, and we're just going to choose our paint options. Now, this body will be available immediately on the automation workshop for Steam, if you want to use it too. I am fairly happy with this paint choice. So yeah, we'll stay with that. What sort of exhaust should I run? I think I'm just going to run this straight old pipe on this thing. Now, we are going to move the engine forwards and play with the transmission a little bit with that sort of stuff. But if you want to find out how I do all my extra 3D modding in a very simple, explained way, go check out this video. There'll be a link to it in the description. Yeah, I go into a lot of the different things, including how to hide the chassis, which is going to be a question that inevitably somebody is going to want answered and will probably not check this part of the video and then ask me how to do it. Because I get asked it all the time. So I did it, it was very simple, and everything else that you may want to know is all in that video. For now, we're just going to make ourselves a little bit of a strut beam kind of area where this thing all connects together. First though, let's drop this on its butt. There we go. What sort of weight are we dealing with? So we can have a look at these, and it reckons we're 584, so we are overweight, but we're pretty darn close. Compared to what we've been with recently with the other ones, this is probably the closest weight we've had so far. And we've created ourselves a little bit of a structure there, and we're going to create a structure now here on the back part for what would be the connection to the actual chassis. That way we don't have to mess around and make a completely custom suspension setup. We could just chuck around a few bits of tubing and whatnot. And there we go. The basics of it is finally done, and we're going to call this, in line with our normal nomenclature for this sort of brand, the Blotus, because I'm always heavier than what Lotus quotes for their cars. Jesus. Now just to stick a little bit of a race driver in there. Now this one's going to be a little bit tricky. I do have a new mod for this, but this new mod works in conjunction with the existing race helmet mod, which is around, and the fact that I'm just not very good at these sorts of things. Finally got this janky ass mod to work. Except I really do have to do a better job of working with these arms. These arms are not right at all. I don't know what I've done. These arms are just weird. And the pivoting is so jank. I'll get this mod working properly before I release it to the public. I'm sorry that you won't have access to it right away, but I'm sure somebody else will make something that's better anyway in the future. God damn. Now let's just put a steering wheel in front of this guy and let's call it a day. There we go. That has come together quite nicely for the Lotus 49, or the Blotus 49 as we're going to call it here. I'm happy with this. We'll choose different wheels, and then I think we're good to go over to BeamNG. Good, okay. Let's do our first test over in BeamNG now. Oh, that's a loud engine, and we're only just at idle. Oh boy. Alright, so we're not going to remove the chassis right now, but I can notice already that there's a lot of wiggling going on. And there is a few fixes you can do for this. As you can see there, it's all crisscrossed over because the way in which automation exports. Now, for all of you that go, oh, the body wiggles too much and all that sort of stuff, yeah, unfortunately that's out of my hands. I've modeled the car accurate to the way in which it was made. It's automation's exporter that doesn't really expect bodies like this, you know, like silly full-on race things. But for now, we're just going to hide that away, and we're going to see how this thing handles. Going into the first corner here, I'm going to go quite late on the brakes. Oh, and massive lockups. And you can see here, so let's do that again. We're just going to pay attention to which wheels lock up first. And braking, locking up. Oh, our front brakes are way too powerful, and our rear brakes are still quite too powerful, but as long as we can get that balance, that'll be quite good. Now, how does it deal? Oh. I am getting intermittent, really low frame rates. This is quite bad. Hold on, you know what? I think I know how to fix this. Let's close off all of these things that we don't need, and that should help us. Nope, we're still getting a fairly low frame rate. Might have to do with the fact that the body is so crisscrossed up that it's causing issues. Oh god. And then that hammer that is first gear when you switch down is pretty bad. Our oversteer and understeer seems to be actually fairly well balanced on the first try. It gets oversteer until you start to accelerate, then it gets understeer, as if to be lifting too much weight away from the front. Oh god, okay. That frame rate drop is deadly. That is really bad. The devs of BeamNG, once again, have stuffed up their game and made it considerably worse. I suppose now we could just maybe try dropping our graphics down a lot to lowest graphical setting. Ugh. That is potato graphics, and even just like trying to rotate the camera around, I'm getting freeze frame still. So I get the feeling that this is a CPU bottleneck to do with physics calculations and the fact that my CPU currently isn't the best one it could be. Okay, come around. Okay, I think we're fairly decent. I would like to stiffen up that chassis, and we're just going to do a little trick that I learned a while ago. We're going to go in here, we're going to grab this little bit of a shape. We're just going to wrap the entire car in this shape. So what this is going to do is when it goes to export it, it's going to create that collision mesh around this. So it's going to be a much better collision mesh if we do it right. And then we're just going to have to go into Blender and we're going to have to edit this particular part out. It's unfortunate, but really, there's no real way to deal with this. Like, it's all buggery. This is not the way automation was intended to be played, hence these issues. And we're going to down the braking a little bit on the front by giving a little bit more brake power to the rear. Oh, we should be hiding those graphs. We don't want to see them at all. Okay, here's moment of truth. Control T. No, it hasn't worked. All right, let's try tweaking this a little bit first. No, it's still not working. Maybe we have to make it a bit taller. Nope. Inside of it, it's still doing exactly the same thing. And sometimes this works and sometimes this doesn't. I'm not sure why this time it's deciding to not. Son of a bitch, just work! For God's sake, why are you doing this to me? I have worked so goddamn long on this thing, and it still jiggles like crazy. I even went to the effort of, if you can't quite tell what I've done here, I made the stretch look tires, which I've always wanted to have with these cars. So that took quite a lot of effort, and yeah, it still jiggles way too much. Let's bring it up to a corner. Okay, so there, you can see it jiggles a lot, and there's just nothing I can do. Oh god, and the frame rate is horrible. Also, Monza doesn't work anymore. Hooray! So I also spent quite a bit of time trying to get Monza to work, and just Monza isn't working. And why can't I have a frame rate, please? I want multiple frames per second. I know I'm asking a lot, but please, God, this is so jank. Oh my god. And then it just does that where it goes, you know what? I like this frame. I'm gonna hang on this one for quite a while. So I do have a problem now because I made the front tires the right size. It is scraping on the ground. So that's a bit of an issue. Oops, it daisies. Well, let me show you. I wasn't able to find a way to make the mesh normally. So I went through and I customly set and unmuddled an entire mesh system, and here we finally have our final mesh system. And yes, the front tires are accidentally a little too big, so if I get rid of that, you can see the front tires are floating a little bit, but I don't care. It looks so good with that stretched tire look, the front tires being smaller and everything. I really am quite happy with how this looks. Just not happy with how jiggly this is. I do actually have one last option, and that is to find another car body which has similar dimensions, and then export a car like that, and then copy all of the nodes and put it onto this car, which is actually something I'm seriously considering, and I might make it a bit of an option. And oh god, the brakes are terrible! Ah, please! So now that I know Monza isn't working, I don't have great options for racing. Also taking into consideration that time attack also still doesn't, or time trial still doesn't work. Janky ass, god damn it. We could do the old circuit, which is a track which I've used a bunch in the past, and I really do love. Or we could do a Spa-Franken-Chops, or whatever you want to call it, lap. Which, I mean, is an F1 track, so I could do it, but it's not really accurate to what it was originally. I got it working! Yes! Monaco is now working! Oh my god. So, I just did a little bit of a settings change inside of the files, and it is now working. Yes! If you guys want to give this car a try, this will be up in the BeamNG repository, along with the car's mod body itself. Why are those trees in the background fluorescent? Alright, well, let's at least give this a bit of a try. We're gonna see how fast we can go around. First, we're gonna see what it handles like. Now, I know the braking in this thing doesn't seem to be particularly great. We do have a bottoming out issue on the front, which is also hindering our braking considerably. And I don't know if I'm getting the full advantage of having smaller front tires, because I'm not sure if I've done it quite justice. I've just done it the easy way around, and I don't know if that translates properly into BeamNG with drag and all that sort of stuff. The fact that the front tires reduce the rear tires drag and all that kind of stuff. Very, yeah, questionable choices. But we also now have a buttload more power than recently. I think we're, what, like 100 more kilowatts than last time or something like that? It's just, this is gonna be a tricky lap, though. You know what? It's actually seeming not so bad. Okay, well, let's hope to God that hot lapping won't cause me really poor frame rates. But we really want to do a lap, and we really want to time it. 3, 2, 1, go! God, going in a straight line is a problem. Why? Ah! Oh my god. I don't know. There's something about this track. It's just really hard to accelerate properly. So, moderate throttle all the time. This is quite a ridiculous car. Okay, corner 1 down. We're doing well, and we can't accelerate too much. Otherwise, we will start getting wheel spin. This thing seriously needs a good differential, like an LSD of some sort, and we braked too late. Oh, that sucks. This time we're gonna brake before the crest. Oh no, we're losing it. Oh no, oh no, oh, god damn it. Why is it the warm-up laps are always so much easier? Oh god, why am I getting all crossed up? Oh, come on. What? All right, we're gonna start slowing down in the S's. Oh god, nope, nope, no good. Make it a clean spin. Okay, clean spin. We're fine. All right, going around the big parabolica type corner, and we're gonna try to keep it under control as much as possible and bring it down here now to the first of the S's, the incredibly tight hairpins, and we braked a little too early, so we're gonna be doing a fairly slow lap. Oh, and that's ruined the geometry of the car. Now it's pulling hard to the right, which sucks really bad. Even though it is a clockwise circuit, it's not helpful, honestly. Oh, okay, and we've made it through the hairpins, and oh yeah, our tires are prone to locking up on one side now. So it's not, it's not good. Oh my god, this car is in a really bad way. You can see it's bent. Oh god, this thing sucks ass. Oh no, come on! Oh, screw it, okay, that's fine. We just had a pit stop mid-track. It's all good. You didn't see anything. Stop imagining things. Oh, okay. Yes. Coming around nicely. Good. Okay. Going around the swimming pool, which wouldn't be there normally. For back in the day. Okay, good. We got a little bit of a drift going on there. What is it with automation cars and handling like absolute arse? I mean, I just gave up there. I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just going through it. This thing is complete jank. No. Don't lock up. Why do you lock up at the drop of a hat? Oh my god. Like, in a straight line, this thing is fine, but sometimes just the slightest bit of an upset and this thing just becomes completely undrivable. And we've just done a horrendous lap. That was a 2:18, I believe. Well, at least I was faster than this lap. Unfortunately, though, we have to break under a 2-minute lap to be able to beat the old nail. Now, this thing has a lot more power and is lighter, so it should be able to do this. Oh my god, the frame drops are horrible. BeamNG devs, fix your fucking game, God's sake. This is what, a 7-year-old game now? And you keep on just having issues? Okay, that was my mistake, but god damn it. I can't do normal time attack, and even if I could, I'd still be having the same frame droppy issues I have, which is like making 90% of my mistakes. Because it just sometimes doesn't register things properly. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna drive this thing so goddamn slowly around here because I cannot get good frame rate, I cannot get good anything, I don't care. I'm cutting all the corners, whatever. I just want to finish a lap. I've been at this now for 2 hours trying to get a lap done, and just issue after issue, and the really bad frame rates, everything just sucks ass. Oh, I hate this so much. Like, I usually like this sort of stuff, but BeamNG is just getting so bad, and mixed together with the fact that I just can't seem to fix the jiggliness of this car body, and I don't want to go through any more trials and tribulations with it. Now, just to let you know, I was actually going to do the 49B, which was the first Formula 1 car to have aerodynamics, like to have aerofoils, sorry, which, if you don't quite know, that's what you call a wing, basically. And I was gonna do that, and now I'm deciding, you know what? This video has taken so long to record, and it's 1 AM, and my sleeping pattern is just killing me right now. Oh, well, I fucked that up. Who cares? We'll just refresh, that's fine, and keep going on. But yeah, so that'll have to wait for the next video. I'll just do basically another build with this car. I'll probably do a better job of fixing the jiggliness of the car. I think I do know how to fix that. It's just export another body, as I said earlier, and just have it have a similar bunch of dimensions. Hopefully that sort of situation will help deal with this. Don't care. We're just gonna try to get a clean lap done and try to get it done in less than 2 minutes. No, we can't? Okay. It turns out that Old Nail was a really phenomenal car, and this thing is just a pile of garbage. And then again, so am I. Well, here we go. We are 8 seconds behind Old Nail. I just don't care anymore. I'm so exhausted, I'm so tired, and I'm still sick, and it's ruining me. I'm so sorry that this is such a garbage video. But for now, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.